Hello and Namaste. I am Ketan from 192 Consulting. In previous week's video, we discussed about the timeline required for the claim approval after the e-verification report has been filed by the nodal officer. In this week's video, we are going to talk about the actual credit of the shares after the claim has been approved. Before proceeding, I'll repeat myself. In this week's video, we are going to talk about the actual credit of the shares after the claim approval. So there are stages and I'm going to elaborate myself on these two stages, which are very important for the investors to understand. See, the IEPF-5 has been filed. Then after filing IEPF-5, the investor has to send the physical documents to the nodal officer. Then the nodal officer submits his e-verification report and then the claim gets approved. This claim approval is based on the e-verification report and the recommendations made by the nodal officer in the e-verification report. Even if the claim is approved, that does not mark the end of the procedure for the investors. Investor will still have to be patient, as the claim approval is a different thing and the actual credit of the shares is a different thing. Most of the investors feel that once the claim is approved, now that means the shares are credited to their account. That is not the case. Shares crediting is a different internal procedure with the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority, which commences after the claim is approved. Going a little back, I'll reiterate myself and I'll say that after the e-verification report has been approved, it is not mandatory that the claim will also get approved, because the IEPFA will put its own lens to the document filed by the nodal officer. See, nodal officer in the e-verification report only makes a recommendation from his part to the IEPFA. Nodal officer will never say that the claim has been approved, or it should not be presumed by the investors that the claim will get approved if the approved e-verification has been filed by the nodal officer. These two are different things. Similarly, the claim approval and shares credit are two different things. Yes, I can say that if the nodal officer has filed an approved e-verification report, then the Ministry of Corporate Affairs approving the claim, the chances of Ministry of Corporate approving the claim definitely increase. But that is a prerequisite, not a prerogative. So an approved e-verification report is a prerequisite for the claim to get approved, but after that also the Ministry of Corporate Affairs come up with some discrepancies, and those discrepancies can be resolved by the investors and the nodal officer. If there are certain discrepancies on the part of the company, then the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority will go back to the company and ask the company to file a revised e-verification report. If there is certain information left to be filed on the part of the investor, then the company will get back to the investor through email and mention its discrepancies. The investors and the company will have to fulfill all the shortcomings that are there into the documents that are filed and IEPF-5, and then only the claim will get approved. After that, once the claim is approved, the procedure for refunding or recrediting the shares to the investor's demat account commences. After the claim is approved by the approving authority in the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority, the approving authority will raise his invoice on the pay and accounts officer, who is also an office bearer of the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority. After this invoice comes to the pay and accounts officer, the pay and accounts officer will again go through all the documents, and then only if the documents are to his satisfaction, the shares will be credited back to the investor's account. Now the question arises, how much time does it usually take to recredit the shares back to the investor's demat account? Currently, on an average, it takes around 8 months to 1 year after the claim is being approved by the pay and accounts officer. This time frame may seem quite big, but the only reason behind this timeline or behind this many number of months being taken to recredit the shares is the number of pending claims with the IEPF. This thing we have discussed in our earlier video, last week's video also, but I found it fit to repeat this cause because That's the only cause why it's taking time at the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority or the IEPF. Again, through this video, I'll urge the investors to be very patient while dealing with IEPFA because they are reeling under tremendous pressure while processing these claims, and whenever it falls in the system, the FIFO system, as I've mentioned, first in, first out. When it falls in the FIFO system, your claim will come, and if the documents are in order, the shares will also get credited. Why we have taken efforts to bring this video out? Because investors usually get impatient once the e-verification report is being approved and filed with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Then after the claim, it takes its own time to get the claim approved based on the e-verification report. So investors will have to wait till the claim is approved, and after the claim is approved, again it takes its own time to recredit the shares. This is our effort to bring in front of the investors to please be patient and keep following with the Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority or the IEPFA, and they'll get back to you regarding as to what would be the probable time to recredit the shares. If you have any query regarding the reclaiming of shares, dematerialization of shares, transmission, transfer, transposition of shares, you may please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us by marking your comment in the comment section of this video, or you can also write an email on info@192.in. Till the time, this is Ketan Kank logging off. Thank you so much.